He always is so well behaved when I start making the video. It's like, you were made for the camera. Okay, so I wanted to go over some stuff that I've been tweaking with him. Like I said yesterday, the feeding thing, it's almost like I'm focusing more. What was that? On trying to get him to eat than actually working on the stuff that I want to work on. So something I started doing with him yesterday was working him on a prong collar. I'm not quite ready to send this home yet because he's a little sensitive to it, and I more so think that it's about him protesting having to do something than the actual prong. I don't really have a problem with dogs on a prong, contrary to popular belief, because they're looked at as this evil, crazy. Hi! Look at this evil, crazy. Do you have to poop? Evil, crazy, whatever. So I like prong collars because, well, they do offer a little bit more of a discomfort, which is the reason that they work. Discomfort is not and should not be synonymous with pain, obviously. Yes, they can cause pain if they're used improperly, but that's not the idea here. So what I found is that you can apply significantly less pressure than another tool form. So like this black collar, or I've been using a slip collar or something on him. And he's really willing to deal with a lot of pressure with those tools. So like choking himself. But I don't really think dogs know how to predict that, like, hey, if this pressure is on my neck, I'm gonna pass out because I'm losing air supply. So with this, I can apply just the slightest bit amount of pressure, and he wants to turn it off because it's an annoying feeling. And so he's gonna move into the leash. So for me, that's creating a lot more clarity. And I think that that was a big, I don't know the word I want to use. That was kind of a big thing for us, is that he didn't want food, so I don't have like a motivational aspect for him, but he's also like checking out with me and kind of wanting to do other things. So with this, I can kind of bring it back to me and then give him the picture that I'm looking for to help him understand that. So it's helping him kind of stay engaged with me a little bit. He's protesting a little bit because that is his natural go-to, is like, I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to go over here, and then he pulls on the leash and he kind of tries to remove himself. So what I found yesterday was, when I started introducing this, I want him to just move in to that pressure, and as soon as he gives to that pressure, that tension in the leash, I'm rewarding him. So for him, because he doesn't like food, it's more about kind of cheerleading him. I'm offering him food, but sometimes he's kind of like, man, I don't really care. So again, for him, I found that if he really doesn't want to do that, he kind of puts the brakes on it. And I think that's why he left, just because he knows he's about to have to do stuff with me. How dare I make you do things for me? But I really think that's a big thing for him. I think that he needs to learn how to deal with a little bit of pressure, and that's going to help with your relationship and him not just always finding success and not wanting to do something. With any dog, regardless if they like food or not, this is maybe not even with a prong collar, but this is a step that I take, is you have to learn how to deal with pressure when you are not motivated by what I have to offer. And that's totally normal for all dogs. I really want to make a big emphasis on motivation. That's how you teach, that's how you build, that's how you make things enjoyable for dogs. But all dogs come to a point where they don't find motivation in something that there's competing motivators. They find motivation elsewhere. So distractions, other dogs, squirrels, cats, whatever. Pressure is there to say, hey, you have to stay with me, and that's a decision that I decide on because I'm your caretaker and I make the best choices for you. So I'm gonna go get him. I wanted to put it on camera so that you could see how he feels about it and all that good stuff. Hello, welcome to this video. Hi. I did find just a second ago that he likes craft singles, so I don't want to jinx it or anything, but if he likes craft singles and you guys, right now that will be the testament. He took a piece and liked it a second ago. If he likes that, we can switch to craft singles as a reward, and he can eat his kibble whenever he feels like, because I'm tired of getting my hands all disgusting in wet food. Good. Yeah, come in. If you spit it out, we're gonna fight. Good boy. All right, so I'm not gonna go over the prong right now because I don't find that to be necessary, because I'm not letting you have the prong collar yet. I really wanna make sure that he understands this tool and how to turn its pressure off before I give it to you, and then he has a negative association to it. So, again, I'm just teaching him how to turn off that pressure by moving into the pressure. So, backtracking, dogs, us, we all naturally resist pressure or force. So, if you were standing right here and I walked up to you and I kind of pushed on you, you naturally would lean into that push to counter your balance, to make sure you don't fall over backwards. So it's really how that starts out with dogs, is we pull on them and they lean into the leash to kind of counter themselves. So it's just a natural coping mechanism that dogs pull, and it's something that just gets enforced over time, where they want to go over there, they pull on your leash a little bit. If you're not paying attention, you let them do it, and then the pressure comes off when they get to where they want to do it. Oh, I just deal with that, a little bit of annoyance, and it goes away when, when I'm doing what I want to do. So I want to teach him the opposite. I want him to understand that when he feels this, if he moves into it, good stuff happens. All the good fun things. So all I'm doing with him is I'm using those markers, the yes. And if he likes the trees, he can have it. If not, then he just gets like, yee. So pulling a little bit. Yep. So good. Barely. You guys are gonna go buy like bulk cheese, and he's like, that has happened, not the bulk part, but we found that a dog likes cheese, and then their owners went out and bought cheese, and then the dog was like, just kidding, I don't like cheese. Go me in. Good. And I'm using the pressure to come back to me, but I want it to be known in all forms. So when I'm working on his down, I'm applying just enough to where he feels it, but doesn't really need to respond to it. I just want him to get used to that sensation. So it's not something where I'm pulling hard enough to where he's like, ooh, I really need to turn that off. It's just, he knows his behavior because of or previously, and he feels the sensation also, and it goes away when he does the behavior. So down, just a slight bit of pressure, and it goes away, good. Okay, very nice. So that is a key part, is the pressure completely goes away as soon as they're showing the behavior, as soon as he's showing the behavior that I like. So sit, go ahead. I'm trying to trick him by giving this kibble. It's like, down, pressure just a little bit. Good. Can't have that whole chunk. No, he's okay. Good. So good to keep him in behavior. Good. Creating neutrality in my movement. I want him to get used to me moving around. I told him down. I told him good. That means to stay in behavior. If he gets up, I'm going to give him the NO with pressure back down into his down. Good. Typically at this point of training, we're nope, down. We're a little bit farther along, but again, in the battle with the food. That's fine, it's his pace. Nope. Good. I'm not mad at him, it's just how he learns, it's fine. Unless you guys roll the timeline. Yes. Okay. So then we're gonna work over here onto our place, just a little bit of pressure. He doesn't like this one. Just a little bit of pressure. Place. Good. Very nice. Good. Yep. Good boy. And then, there. We're going to do a little bit of leash walking. Let's go. So if he starts to move away from where I want him to be, then I just give a little pressure right there. Pressure. Good. So it's hard to see on camera. It's more about a feel, but I'm just giving him the slightest little smudge of pressure when he moves away from where I want him to be. So right here I'm turning. Yep. Very nice. And then moving, and then into sit. Good. Good. Okay. And just reminding the difference between the markers. So if I want him to stay in behavior, I'm saying the word good, and then okay means he can come out of behavior. And if I'm saying the word yes, it just means it's done, come get food for me. So good and okay, it can feed, doesn't have to. Right now I'm doing it a little bit more because I want him to find the association of good feelings between the two. But yes, always follows with food. And you'll hear me kind of do like a yep, that's just like emphasizing it a little bit, kind of sounds more exciting. So Dugan, come. And he's not great at multitasking. You're beautiful, you're perfect. He's not great at multitasking, taking food and walking, so a lot of times I'll keep him moving just to kind of, I want him to figure out where his feet are a little bit. Sit. Good. Down. So I've been trying to fade the lure, so I do just a little bit of downward pressure on my foot. Good. If you could see, have you ever seen the cartoons where they like pop the one toe out of the shoe to touch something? It's so light. I think it was SpongeBob where he wanted to just put a little bit of pressure on the throttle, the gas pedal. That's what I'm doing. And obviously not my toe coming out, but just the slightest bit of pressure on the leash so that I don't have to be so invested down there. Because I want him to go into a down from me standing up here. Good. Yep. Very nice. So I'll kind of come over closer to the screen, to my phone, and show you what that looks like. Oh boy. So just the lightest bit down. Good. I've seen trainers before that will like hold they'll kind of put their foot all the way down on the leash, and the dog's kind of like stuck there with a lot of pressure. And I feel like if you're doing that initially, they don't actually know what the behavior is. So I wanted to make sure that he has the luring part of it down and he knows what the word means before I'm like smashing his head down to it. Okay. Very nice. Let's do this one again. Please. Good side. So a little bit of pressure because I wanted to do it. Place. Good. Very good. Okay. I'm going to do a couple of reps because I know that this was the one that we were doing when he started protesting the prong. So I think he's got a little bit of some feelings to get over it. So I want him to have a little bit positive picture. Good. Very good. Okay. So I'm just going to do a couple reps. And I'd like for him to go out in front of me to his place. So in order for that to happen, he has to actually like the behavior. Dugan, place. Come here. Yeah, super. Good boy. Ready? Place. Leash pressure. Yep. Super. Good boy. Oh no, I'm out of cheese. What are we gonna do? I'm out of cheese. But yeah, that's the picture. At some point, we'll transfer prong ownership over, but I really want to make sure he actually understands it before I'm putting that on anyone, because I don't want him to have any bad feelings. Let's see how the cheese goes, and then we can kind of discontinue the food. I'm gonna put wet food in just because I want him to have a little bit of food, but you're gonna get a lot of kibble back, so that's why. It's because you can go ahead and just give it to him as long as the cheese works. If the cheese doesn't work, then we're going back to this or the chicken breast. If you want, I'm not asking you guys to send like a grocery trip and a food into me, but we'll see what makes him happy and motivates him. I'm gonna do a little bit more of his toy play because I think he likes that stuff too. All right.